Good morning once again. You're welcome to this edition of our online teaching. I believe we are all coping with this lockdown. Pray that God will help us to emerge victorious. Thank you for this moment again we have to share together. This morning, I'd like us to look at a topic titled sentences. Sentences. We have, in most cases, that some elements of sentences can depend on the type of the construction. Sorry, let me come again. A sentence must have an element depending on the type of sentence constructed. Thus, we have elements like subject, predicate, verb, adjunct, and complement. For instance, a subject is an element in a sentence about which something is said. That is the subject in a sentence. Then we have a predicate. A predicate is an element in a sentence which says something about the subject. It says something about the subject. The predicate is the part which contains verbs and other complements. E.g., the man is my father. 2. The girl has cleaned the room. You get that? Now we talk about the verb. The verb is the most important element in a sentence. It shows the actual action performed by the subject. Without a verb, there is no sentence. For example, the woman beat her son. So beat there is the verb. Alright? The man borrowed some money. Borrow there is the verb. Then when you talk about complement, complement is another element which completes the meaning of an idea in a sentence. The absence of a complement in a sentence makes the thought incomplete. E.g., the lady remains the best student. We saw him go out of the party. Alright? In other words, complement is the receiver of an action. Then the last term here is adjunct. Adjunct is an element which indicates time, place, reason, manner, etc. Is that okay? Alright. Please, I have taken my time to explain the tense, predicate, the verb, complement, and adjunct for better understanding. Now, let's go further. What is a sentence? What is a sentence? A sentence is a major concept in English language. A sentence is a group of words which contains at least a subject and a predicate. It is also a group of words which expresses a complete thought or an idea. Okay, let me come again. A sentence is a major concept in English language. A sentence is a group of words which contains at least a subject and a predicate. It is also a group of words which expresses a complete thought or an idea. By now I know you should be, abreast with the word subject and a predicate. Subject is the person carrying out a particular action, then the predicate is the receiver of an action. Therefore, a sentence must have the performer of an action and the receiver of an action. That is what it's trying to say. In other words, sentence is a group of words that expresses or which expresses a complete thought or an idea. So when you write or say something or make statements or you are writing a sentence, it must express a complete what? Thought or idea. Is that okay? Good. Now let's look at the features of a sentence. Features of a sentence. Features of a sentence. Learning the features of a sentence helps students to identify a sentence and to know how to construct one either in speech or writing. Below are the features of a sentence. What are the characteristics of a sentence? Number one, a sentence must basically contain a subject and a predicate. I've talked about subject and predicate, the person performing action and the person receiving the performed action. Okay, number two, a sentence must contain a finite verb. There must be an action that is going on. The action going on is the finite verb. Okay? Number three, a sentence must have a noun or a pronoun as its subject. You get that? Yeah, it must have a noun, the name of a person, animal, whatever, thing. That is how it becomes a sentence. Next, a sentence must begin with a capital letter. A sentence must begin with what? Capital letter. Please take note of that. Last but not the least, a sentence must end with relevant punctuation marks. For example, we have question mark, full stop, exclamation mark. So when you are writing a sentence, please take note of this. We must obey these commandments and rules in writing. Question mark, full stop, semicolon, colon, exclamation mark, and so on and so forth. Is that clear? Good. Now let's look at the 4 types of sentences. Number 1, we have simple sentence. Simple sentence. A main clause can be a simple sentence. For example here, Ade goes to school regularly. Ade goes to school regularly. It's a simple sentence. Second example, he passes his examinations always. You see that? These are examples of simple sentence. Number 2, we have compound sentence. When 2 simple sentences are joined together with conjunctions such as and or but, etc., we call it compound sentence. When two simple sentences are joined together, please take note of this, with conjunctions such as and or but, we call them what? Compound sentence. The first one we have what? Simple sentence. Now, take a look at the examples here. Ade goes to school regularly and passes examinations. Beautiful. Ade goes to school regularly and passes examinations. This is an example of compound sentence. And remember, I've told you that when two simple sentences are joined together with conjunctions, such as and or but, we call it what? Compound sentence. Are you following? Second example. She came to my house, but I was not at home. She came to my house, but I was not at home. It's a compound sentence. Why is it a compound sentence? Because we can separate the sentence and say, she came to my house, full stop. That's a simple sentence. Then, but I was not at home. But I was not at home can also stand on its own, but may not be a complete sentence. It will not make complete sense. It will not express complete sense. Good. That's why we call it compound sentence. She came to my house, but I was not at home. I believe that is taken. Are you listening? Okay. Let's see number 3, complex sentence. This is a combination of both a main clause and a subordinate clause. These two kinds of clauses are joined together with subordinate conjunctions like because, since, etc. Okay? Alright. So when we say complex sentence, we are talking about the combination of both a main clause and a subordinate clause. A combination of a main clause and a subordinate clause. Alright? Please get these examples down. If you are following, I want you to jot this down. Jot these examples down to ensure you are following. The first example here of this complex sentence is this. Please take note of this. The lady liked him because he faced his studies. The lady liked him because he faced his studies. Number 2 example under complex sentence. He saw me while I was driving. He saw me while I was driving. Number 3. I chose the boy who was rejected before. I chose the boy who was rejected before. These are examples of complex sentence. Let me come again with the examples. Please make sure you jot it down. Alright? Because I didn't put it down here on the platform for you. So get it down yourself. Right? The lady, number 1 example under complex sentence. The lady liked him because he faced his studies. Full stop. He saw me while I was driving. I chose the boy who was rejected before. I believe that is taken. Good. Now let's take the 4th one. We have compound complex sentence. When we have a combination of more than one main clause and at least a subordinate clause, a compound complex sentence is in place. You get that? Okay. This type of sentence had better be avoided by students as it requires proper control with the use of comma and semicolon. Examples. I have got the money which I need for my project, but my supervisor is yet to approve it. See that? This is compound complex sentence. I have got the money which I need for my project, but my supervisor is yet to approve it. Is that clear? Alright. So, we are trying to look at sentence today, and so far so good. We've been able to look at the meaning of a sentence. We've also seen features of a sentence, and we've looked at the types of sentence and their examples in usage of sentences. Alright? So by this, I'd like us to call it a day for this edition, and I want to advise or encourage all of you out there, the students out there, to ensure that you attempt the assignment. Choose the best alternatives to complete your sentences below. Choose the best alternatives to complete the sentences below. Number 1, he prepared very hard for the examination, dash, he failed woefully. A, still yet, B, yet, C, although. Number 2, I am not happy, dash, my mother is sick. A, despite. B, however. C, besides. I am not. Alright, number 3 now. I saw the boy, dash. A, come the garden. B, in the garden. C, go to the garden. 4, she called him, dash. She was stranded. A, because. B, soon. C, unless. 5, he came to his house, dash, he was not in. A, but. B, for. C, all. Right? By this, we have come to the end of this lesson today. Until we meet again in our next edition, please stay safe and God bless you all. Bye-bye.